Hello Guitar Junkies, this is Marcus Deml, a warm welcome. Today is all about the Frankenstrat, it's all about modifications, it's all about turning an instrument in something that you play instead of just looking at it. So I brought my 80s Frankenstrat. This has been put together from, I don't know, all the kinds of parts and guitars that I had during the last 352 years. And so I'm going to take you through all the mods and hopefully explain to you what they do and why I did them. So you have an easier time just in case you want to make your own Frankenstrat. So let's start out with the body. This is very sentimental to me. This was the very first Stratocaster that I bought as a little boy. It's a Japanese Squire vintage reissue, the 70s one. So it has a 3-bolt and 50s contours, medium weight ash body. It's a great body. You know, we have a wonderful neck from a small custom shop in the Frankfurt area in Germany that used to be around. They were sort of a Chevelle kind of thing. I used to literally live there. They hated me, but probably because I was an annoying kid. But they built me a few guitars, and this neck came from, you know, was always my favorite neck. It came from a different guitar because I ruined the original neck from this guitar by scalloping it, refretting it, trying to refret it myself, and all that crap that you shouldn't do if you're not a qualified repairman. So this is Canadian hard rock maple. This Riemer Schinderhütte neck. Basically a vintage neck with a flatter radius. That's all there's to it. And it's not big at all. It's actually more on the slim side. This is just for the looks, but I'm sure it affects the sound too. You know, because the high E string, if you think about it, it's, you know, you tune it right here. So right from the nut, it's just this small distance. And we have huge frets. This guitar went to a bunch of different frets. Now, frets are not only there to make you play better, but they considerably change the sound. My experience is the wider the fret, like a Dunlop 6000 or 6100, which I guess it's the 80s fret, you know. Everybody used to use those. Now everybody is to 6105s, which are tall but narrow. These add mid-range. But if you're not lucky, which I wasn't with one or two guitars, they sort of muffle the whole thing. So, you know, just changing the frets might considerably change the guitar to your liking, or the other way. Anyway, we have a pre-internet pickguard, which houses the only non-80s parts, which are my signature pickups by Klopman, of course. And ladies and gentlemen, of course, we do have an all-original Floyd Rose from the 80s that I bought brand new on Sunset Boulevard. Yeah, when I used to live in Hollywood. So they say these ones are better. I'm not sure, but it's like most people, I always had my problems with the sound of the Floyd. Tuning was always great, etc. But is it thin? Is it lacking sustain? Something is happening. So I just modified it just recently in two simple ways, which you can try, which are fairly non-destructive and affordable. And number one is putting in the biggest brass block you can find by Floyd Rose. This is a 42. This is the biggest thing you can get, and you really feel the vibration in the body. Modification number two is I, surprise, removed the locking nut just to see what, you know, what's going to happen. And to my surprise, number one, it stayed in tune. Number two, the whole guitar, especially if you touch it on the headstock, it really, I mean, really came back to life. And this guitar has not been played for 20 plus years, really, till I did these modifications and changed the pickups from Seymour Duncan to the Klopmans. So here's a little warning sign though. If you install this brass block, you might run into some spacing problems because these things are huge and tall. So in my case, I had the problem. It fit the cavity, but underneath the springs, it was rubbing against the wood, which causes tuning problems, squeezing, etc., etc. So since this is a Frankenstrat, what did I do? I took the chisel and chiseled away just a few millimeters. Make it functionable, make it playable. We're not here, you know, to make any collectors happy. So this is pretty much it for the guitar. So we have a homemade pickguard, a body and a neck that weren't born together, a Floyd, which I have to say also, if you see the crazy routing underneath the Floyd, this had a Kahler Fender and numerous Floyd copies on it before. So I went to everything with this guitar. By the way, the 3-bolt was also, you know, a modification because the neck is a 4-bolt, the body was a 3-bolt. I was kind of hesitant to do it, but Reinhold Bogner did it at 3 o'clock in the morning back in the Hollywood days. He wasn't scared, I was. And it doesn't move. He did a perfect job. Thank you, Reinhold. Great amps, great repairman, great dude. I'm running into a 50-watt Marshall on the low channel. Everything is turned up to noon, and I'm getting this sound. You know, just a little bit of breaker. if I change pickups. Once I engage the gorilla, now, so still a dynamic sound. Of course, the Floyd really has a big impact on the sound. I think it's really, it's something. There's a certain sound to a Floyd Rose. You can't deny it. So if it's not for you, go with a vintage style bridge or any kind of bridge that you prefer, or non-trem, whatever. But this is basically, the Frankenstrat thing is about making you play a guitar instead of just looking at it and going, oh, it's so great, it looks so fantastic, but I never played. Why not? And it's always the right combination of parts. Anyway, so pimp your own, tune your own, make them great. Make your guitars great again. Anyway, this was Marcus Deml. I hope you enjoyed this episode. As always, love and peace. Marcus Deml, peace out.